In this video, we're going to analyze M.C. Escher's translation tessellation of Pegasus, the winged horse. So if we can notice that the Pegasus horse is being translated horizontally and just changing colors, and it's also translated vertically. So it's a very straightforward tessellation. Now, the first thing we'd like to look at is if we look at the points, this is the kind of chin of the horse. If you connect the chin to the next chin, down to this chin, over to that chin, and up this way, you can see that the basic shape that's being used in this tessellation is actually a square. So I'm going to go ahead and erase that. But basically what we've got is, if we think about it, we're going, if I think in terms of my, what I'm going to translate, we're going from this chin over to this chin, and then that's moving across, and moving down is going down to the chin of the horse here. Now, one thing that's kind of interesting is if you draw the shape of the horse, so if I'm going to draw the outline of this Pegasus horse, and I'm going to do the best I can with the mouse so it's not super accurate, but should be close enough. So this is going to be the top and the bottom. Now I'm going to stop right here. Okay, now if you think about it, this shape here, in order for these to fit together, this shape has to be the same as this bottom shape to here. So really what we're going to do with that shape is, if we take this point and mark that as our vector, okay, then if we take the top part, it actually gets translated down to create the bottom part of the horse, which is also the top part of the next horse. So let's go ahead and translate that piece. So now, if you notice, this green part is down here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change the color for the other one, but now the left and the right side of the square, let's look at it this way. So I'm going to move, actually I think I'll keep it green. So let's go ahead and move that down this way carefully. That wasn't perfect, but okay. Now this left side, the front of the horse, actually turns out to then become the back part of the horse with its tail and everything else. So it's actually quite creative how Escher could realize that this is going to match this. And that's the hardest thing in these tessellations, is to kind of come up with something that looks good. So let's go ahead now and move that over in this direction. So we have from here to here, we're going to mark that as our vector, and then we're going to translate the whole thing. Okay. Now, if you notice, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hide this part. So I'm going to hide the picture. Now I've got my outline of Pegasus, and if I want to tile that thing, I can just go ahead and first, if I want to tile it in this direction, I'm going to make that my vector, and go ahead and translate that. Let's translate that 3 times. One more. Okay, and then I want to see if it tiles down. So again, I'm going to move it down now. So I'm going to make this my vector. And again, translate that down. And now let's unhide this, and you could see how Escher was able to create this incredibly rich tessellation. Now, when you guys work on your tessellations, and I'll show you in a different video how to start from scratch, but what you want to do is when you want to finish off one of the shapes carefully, like for example, if you're going to do these interior lines in your own tessellations, let's say you were going to do this and do that sort of thing. You want to do that once before you copy it. Otherwise, you have to do it over and over for each one. So you want to make your first shape as perfect as you can, and then start doing the transformations.